two will be recorded at the same time. All right. Good after. There we go. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Life of Joey Cavill podcast. I am Joey Cavill. Today I have, if only hot February started right now, I've got we got the perfect start right here. And someone actually turned around and said to me, "Oh, most of the guests that you have are not that great looking." Boy, they lying to themselves. So today, and pardon me because I feel like I've got hair in my eyes. Okay, there we go. In 2023, Stephanie Santana became a viral star as her portrayal of a police officer in a brief Instagram clip that just about fooled over 26 million viewers into believing that she's truly a cop. Her talent clearly speaks for herself, but these viewers and many other fans of her work would be shocked to know that Stephanie had only been working in the industry for a few years. Just a few short years ago, Stephanie Santana hadn't even considered acting and modeling. She was serving, excuse me, she was serving her country in the U.S. Air Force and working with the government. She even obtained 2 medical degrees that she intended to use to continue the work, but something changed. As the pandemic began, she started shifting through the remote role for the DoD. Her mental health had shifted. Stress and anxiety had mixed with a repetitive daily routine. It's going to get to me yet. I apologize, folks. There we go. That she began to grow to resent. There had been more to this for her. She took action, starting out by signing with an agency that took a few modeling and acting gigs. That was a clear form of the very beginning. She was natural, quickly booking numerous acting and modeling roles. She was featured in international campaigns like My Place Hotels and Arcadia Custom Windows, pushing her success forward to becoming a series regular on a telenovela web series. And she's won a Latina Impact Award. I present to you the truly beautiful, the truly hot and sexy Stephanie Santana. Stephanie, welcome. I apologize for being unprofessional for 30 seconds, but I'm like most of the guys that see you on Instagram and so on. So I apologize for that. I mean, folks, how good can this get? You can't find a Wonder Woman without seeing her. Okay. Have you thought about being a Wonder Woman?
Oh no.
No, I can picture you doing that. I can picture you in a superheroine movie. I really could. Even
I
TV.
don't know. Maybe one day we'll see.
Yeah, but I just see it. I do. But of course, that's just my opinion. And do understand that she does have 2 puppies. So if they do bark, please understand that. And we've already got one person, NB122, and I will show you the comment that was posted. If you could, there we go. Okay, so Stephanie, first of all, like I said, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. And before I go any further, I need to thank Signature Models and Talents for getting Stephanie on here, and hopefully they will have more of a partnership with them in having great people like Stephanie come on to be interviewed and promote themselves. So Stephanie, what else got you started besides what I read?
To be honest, I was actually placed for telework when I was working for the DoD, and I hated it. And obviously they put me on it because I was a cardiac patient and COVID was a thing. And they were like, people with cardiac issues cannot get the virus.
Right.
Okay. So I got bored of being isolated. And I was going through a lot of stuff working on base
Mhm.
with discrimination. I had this case going on, and the stress was just too much that I was like, I can't do this no more. I need to like find something else to do. And so I took the risk, made an audition, got it, and then that's where I've been ever since. And it's been going really good.
Hold on. Pardon me a minute. I'm having an issue with this. Now I'm having an issue with recording this. If it's not one thing, folks, if it's not one thing today, it's something else. So I apologize to Stephanie because like all this good stuff that we're talking about right now isn't coming out, and isn't coming on audio wise. So I do apologize for that. I don't know. Should I blame T-Mobile internet? I think I can. They're not the greatest when it comes to um, this stuff. You know what? I'm going to go to the backup. I have the backup. See, not only do I have a tablet that can record, I also have my phone. So, yeah. Mainly, folks, and I'm going to be all honest with you, when we record these podcasts, it's all mainly recorded on it's on an app. So if it's not on an app, close that one. Okay. So again, I apologize to you, Stephanie, for that delay. So you were saying that you were going through a lot in reference with the government, in reference to the way you were treated, and because of your condition. And before we go any further, she had the opportunity to reschedule, folks. She had the opportunity to reschedule because yesterday she had a little how can I say this, procedure done. And I always, if you don't feel 100% to come on, I'd rather hear that than coming out and all of a sudden you have a heart attack on me, or something else. I mean, but I always give the guests the opportunity to reschedule first before I turn around and do it. Only because, like I said, I always put health first. Now, if you saw the podcast I did yesterday, I was rambling on about so much stuff. But today, it's all about Stephanie. This is not about me now. It's all about Stephanie. And if you didn't catch the first part, recording on the audio wise, if you didn't catch the first part, if you were on the YouTube live stream right now, this woman looks like Wonder Woman to a T. Okay? She really, really does. Stephanie, can I ask you how tall you are?
I'm 5'3". I'm pretty short.
Oh, so you're about my height. Okay.
Yeah.
5'4". Okay. Okay. All right. Donna Troy, Wonder Girl. Okay. At least Wonder Girl. But she's definitely a Wonder Woman to me. So, and I always, if I ever compliment people, I always say, don't tell your significant others I say that because I can't afford to die. But that again is my own personal opinion, and people should be treated like they should be treated. I mean, you should be told that I'm not the only one that says that. Hold on, I gotta share this. I have to share this. If you're on the YouTube channel, she's gonna be surprised to see this.
Stephanie is my Wonder Woman. Thank you.
Yeah, that's NB122, who's actually sticking around for this. So, and NB122, it's the audio that I record for the podcast, not the YouTube. That was the problem. Okay, So I'm getting off of I'm getting off of Stephanie here, and I feel bad. I mean, but I gotta keep myself together.
Okay. I
I,
will be
Stephanie,
serious.
no, I'm sorry, Stephanie. I'm sorry. I just can't help, you know. I mean, you can tell NB 122 is feeling the same way. So, um, so like you were saying, you know you were having issues with your health and with the government, and you weren't comfortable, and you decided to go into modeling and acting. Um, and you know, off your bio that you sent me, you know, it started as a police officer. You know, everybody thinking you were a police officer. Um, I did see that little clip of it, and I was like, wow. Like, yeah, I was thinking you were a cop too. You know, I really, but you know, but if I make the statement that I would say to that, like most guys would say, I'm gonna not say it. So, uh, because and see, that's another thing I like to do. I do like to make guests laugh at least, even at my own expense, because it makes it more hopefully makes it more comfortable. Um, so so when you started, what got you into that video?
I was actually on set. I was actually the cop that day, arresting one of the girls on set because she was being a little bitch and
Oh,
in drama. So my job was to arrest her.
uh,
But one of my acting friends, David Rice, he held up his phone and was recording me. So I figured I was going to mess around with him. And he recorded it off of his phone. And I posted it that same day later on. And it went viral like
uh,
5 days after.
yeah. Wow. Well, that's great. And then you also mentioned that you were a series regular in a telenovela web series. Discuss that.
It's actually owned by Mica Media. It's a production company out in Mexico. But there's a crew here that is filming the American version to it because the series started out in only Spanish.
Ah,
So we've been filming that for over a year now.
okay.
And it picked up momentum, popular. I went viral on that too. And that was hard at first. I wasn't used to it. Um, then it's been a hit since then.
Yeah. Um, okay. So so now we got the telenovela going to English. We got you as a police officer. We had you in the government. And by the way, in all seriousness, I do thank you for serving our country. It means a lot. I don't know how often anybody ever gets a chance to really tell you that. Um, and when I mentioned in the beginning that she would been this would be perfect to start hot February next Thursday. I actually have a Navy veteran coming on, and she's going to tell her story and what happened to her after being in the Navy and um, getting PTSD and so on. So that's next Thursday, folks. I can't wait to do that one either. Uh, but you had mentioned now. I normally don't go really deep and personal, um, and for those that missed out on the in the on the audio version of the podcast, Stephanie had a procedure done yesterday, and it did worry me because health wise, I always look out, and make sure if the guest is comfortable coming on or not. That's why I always say, something happens and you need to reschedule, let me know right away. I have no problem rescheduling. Um, so explain to us, uh, if you don't feel as comfortable explaining it, it's up to you. I know you did a little live after the procedure, and you know what was the first thing you actually said?
I did not get boobs.
Okay.
That's what everyone assumed. I was like,
Yeah.
great.
Well, you know what they say when you, okay, I'm going to teach you something, or you might have heard this. When you assume, you make an ass of you and me. So, but explain about what it was really all about.
So I had an implanted loop recorder, which is a cardiac monitoring device that gets pushed onto the skin and straight towards the heart, where the doctor is constantly monitoring your heart rhythm. Um, I've been a cardiac patient for 6 years now. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while. And over 2023, my condition actually got worse with passing out and turning blue, like randomly. We don't know why. And the testing they recently did showed some abnormalities, but it wasn't enough to explain everything else that I was experiencing. So this device was implanted, and I have this little, I don't even know, remote control. I don't know what to call it, but if I collapse, someone will hold that over my chest, and that information will be sent directly to the hospital that I'm in so they can see exactly what happened.
Okay. 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 But of course, we're all happy that you're here with us and being with us and um, bringing out the talent that is you. Um, so we've gone through the police, we've gone through the government, we've gone through the telenovela that's going into English. The personal condition, and no, she did not get boobs. Okay. I mean, I okay. Us guys got to stop thinking in the gutter. Okay. Uh, I like I said, I did not think that. I would never assume that unless I was told that. So in the future, if anything ever happens like that, at least one person doesn't think it was that. Okay. Okay. Um, so, um, so it took you a little bit um, to take the modeling and acting classes, and then you signed with. How long have you been with Signature?
I recently signed with Signature like 2 months ago.
2 months ago. Okay. Yeah, and again, thank you to Signature Models and Talents for bringing this beauty to us today. Um, I, I I I can't go any lower than beauty. Okay, you can't knock down this great person. I mean, she she's amazing. Um, I actually like the post that her and her friend did the other day.
The hairy chest.
Yeah, yes. Did you, guys? Was this the? Oh, I don't think you'll be able to see it. But I got a black magic marker in my hand. Was that the cheat?
I actually used real hair.
You actually used real hair?
Yeah, I used latex, and I had a wig and I cut it up, and then we stuck it all over ourselves so it could be realistic and
Uh,
video.
oh, you got to plug your friend for this because it was really funny. It was really cracked up, and you know what? You can even tell her if she wants to come on the podcast to ever, promote herself. Let me know. I'd be happy to do that. Um, because always one thing I love to do, and I will, and I'm saying this now, and I do not go back on it as much as people are like, why do you do this? Why do you let people get free advertising? They're supporting me. So if there's anything, Stephanie, that you ever want me to help you with in any way, please don't be afraid to ask, because I'm one of these people that like to be there to support and be that person to, I can't say guide, but if you wanted me to guide you through it, you know, always telling you you're never alone. So if anything ever comes across that you want to promote and you think it's worth it on the podcast to put on the podcast, there's a stream, there's a ticker on the bottom. I have no problem putting on that ticker. I have no problem whatsoever, because you were nice enough to come on here. You were nice enough to come on here. I mean, you weren't. It felt like you were being forced. I'm apologizing now, but and I may sound like I'm desperate sometimes, because no, I'm going to be honest, and I even said this yesterday when I was promoting you and all the other guests that were coming on in February. I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression in 2009. And over the past couple of years, my life has been going, like a roller coaster, up, down. Usually at the end of the year, I always say, "Oh, I'm going to leave everybody alone. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to be on the outside. I'm going to be on the outside looking in. I'm not worthy." And so when the podcast all of a sudden just started picking up, and I have when I mentioned about the Wonder Woman, there is someone I know who will get a kick out of that statement I made earlier. And if that person saw you, they would agree with me. I will tell you, they would agree with me. But that person literally just opened up my eyes realistically, and has been there, and really stood by and said, "Hey, you can do this. Stop being negative." Well, I can't give up the negativity yet. But I almost was to the point where I was going to give up this podcast because I wasn't feeling like I was doing something. And then my childhood neighbor turned around and told me that, and I was like, okay, at least I'm hearing from two people. It's something. So, and being that, believe it or not, I'm actually half Spanish, and half Irish. Um, the old joke I go around saying is, and please don't take offense to this. And I'm saying that to everyone. Please don't take offense to what I call myself when I do this stuff. I call myself an Irish spick. I do, because I'm half Irish, half Spanish. So how explain about this that you won a Latina Impact Award?
Yes. So when I started, how I actually won that award was basically because of anxiety and depression. Just like you said, I've been seeing a therapist since 2008 myself. I'm still in therapy. I will always be in therapy at this point. And I wrote a song that I actually performed on Luke Air Force Base about suicide. and it touched a lot of people's lives because I wrote it on a personal story. And that's how people started finding out who I was before I entered the acting side and modeling side of things. And
Okay. All right. Have you thought about performing that on your Instagram?
there is actually a clip up of me performing it live when I performed it on base.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
All right. And so, what do we see next for Stephanie? I already, like I said, folks, I already threw one idea at her. You know, um, and NB122 agrees with me on that. Um, of being the next Wonder Woman / Wonder Girl. Um, I mean, she matches it. She does. She matches it. She. I mean, believe it or not, they did come out with a in the comics. They did come out with a Wonder Girl that's actually Latina. She's actually Latina.
Mixed.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm really pale. I'm European and Puerto Rican.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay. Well, like I said, she still matches the part. I mean, she's got beautiful long hair. I mean, I think she could do it. I really think I could see her as a superheroine. Maybe not Marvel, but definitely DC. I definitely DC. If DC gets themselves together. Um, so yeah, if anybody knows anybody that works for DC Comics, get a hold of Stephanie. There's your Wonder Girl right there. Here's your Wonder Girl movie right here, right here. She doesn't have to play. She doesn't have to replace Gal Gadot yet. Okay, but here's your Wonder Girl right here. Um, and like I said, MB122. I know you're going to agree with that statement, so you don't need to repeat it. But what do we see next for Steph? You were mentioning you had 2 medical degrees, so let's step into that a minute.
okay. So before all of this happened, I was always into the medical field. It's always been a passion of mine of helping people, especially the poverty side, because I feel like they don't have access to all the things that they need. So I decided to put my devotion into that. And I loved it, and I love learning about it still to this day. The only reason that I stepped away is because I don't feel like I was accepted, if that makes sense. I had a position where I was managing people that were way older than I was. And because of that, it didn't go well. Like, they looked at me like I was a kid. They questioned my age. They questioned my credentials. They questioned everything. And
Mm-hmm.
it just caused so much stress, anxiety, to the point where I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to go into a field where I'm not judged on what I look like or what I do. And I've been happy ever since.
And we see that in your social media. So what's next for Stephanie? Now that she's become an actress, a model, a singer, a U.S. Air Force vet. Um, where do you see? What do you see yourself wanting to do next?
So I have several things lined up. I'm writing a new song at the moment. I
Oh,
am releasing a children's book inspired by my 6-year-old. I am going back to New Mexico in March to finish a film based on addiction, based on a true story that's actually written by a pastor, and it's his life story, which I'm really excited for. I have a couple of projects that I did that is going to be released, which hasn't yet. And a bunch of other projects lined up that I can't really disclose, but I
okay.
do have a lot going on for 2024.
Yeah. Well, you have this platform whenever you want it. I'll be happy to, like I said a moment ago, I would be happy to help you promote it whenever they are ready to go out. Just say, hey, Joey, let's do this. Let's get this out, Um, I mean, I do podcasts Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, actually, it's supposed to be starting next week. Um, but, I always leave the door open. So, if you, like I said, whenever you want to promote anything, let me know. We'll set something up right away, bring you on, and let you promote it. Have you thought about doing a podcast like this?
No.
No? I can picture you doing this.
I don't know. I am an introvert. I know I don't look that way on social media and stuff because that's my job to connect with people and stuff, but I'm more comfortable not socializing and doing all these things. So
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Yep.
I mean, you are, let's just say it this way. Okay. We have 2 people watching this video live stream right now. You know how many I normally get? Zippo. No one. With the exception of when I had the band Sepsis on, then I had like 30 people on. But normally, no one watches this video until afterwards. Then the views go up to about 20, 30, and then they stop. So to have 2 watching right now and 1 comment that's agreeing to me that you should be Wonder Woman, okay, that's a start, But I could picture you doing this stuff because yeah, I could be the same way too, I'm one of those people that would rather, and I'm apologize if it sounds unprofessional, but if I was with someone special right now, I would be walking the Atlantic City beach with them, hand in hand, or in a room at the Tropicana, looking at the ocean, telling them how special they are, or being that old-fashioned type romantic and really cuddling up and being on the inside in reference to that. I did this because I was trying to make a little extra money on the side, believe it or not. I mean, I didn't expect to get, I've been doing this for 5 years, and I didn't expect to get 2,300 downloads off of it, and then the YouTube, I just started this, I think, 3 years ago, and I've had, believe it or not, you may not recognize these people I'm going to mention. I had Supermodel Carol Alt on this podcast before, and I'm very good friends with her. But unfortunately, at that time, we did that. We didn't have this that we're doing it on now in reference to YouTube. We did it the old-fashioned way with the phone, with the regular, with that old-fashioned thing called the telephone.
Yep.
Because I had a speaker phone, so we did it that way. I don't know if you ever watched the show Blue Bloods. No. Okay. If you ever get a chance on Friday nights, starting after Super Bowl 58, by the way, go Niners. I had Gregory Jabbar, who plays Deputy Commissioner Garrett Moore, who's a big fan of Michigan. And if he was watching this podcast right now, I'm sorry, your Lions are going down. I'm sorry. We got him out. We're getting them out of Ford Field. We're bringing them out to Santa Clara. And we're going to beat them. Okay, I'm sorry. But I had him on the podcast. I I would be happy to even introduce you to a smooth jazz guitarist by the name of Eric Essex. Um, he I've had him on the podcast twice, and that's ericessex.net. Yeah, he's getting his plug on too. Uh, and matter of fact, when I had him on the last time, Stephanie, okay, we talked about, believe it or not, he did a remake of Ain't No Sunshine with Ruben Studdard from American Idol.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, he's really famous. Um, so if you decide you want to make, come up with new music and you want to make it, jazzy, let me know and I'll give you his I'll even talk to him and say, hey, listen, I got this singer that would be great for you to collaborate with, and make a great album off of it, you know. And then of course I'd be happy to help promote it as always and be that support. Like I said, I love. I'm a person that loves to support everybody but me. No, no, that's the truth, Stephanie. I mean, I would, like I mentioned about Wonder Woman. Okay, yeah, I would step forward, take the bullet before it got to you. You know, you did that when you were in the air. Well, in the Air Force, you didn't really have to do much of combat. Um,
I think you're frozen.
Protect the people, and of course, yep, there we go. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
T-Mobile for you. That's T-Mobile, folks. Live stream sucks, and I actually did say that last week at an auto show. Um, but and I apologize that I'm going off of you a little bit, but at the same time, I want you to know that I would be there for you if you ever needed it, because you're a great person. You got a heart of gold. You got great talent. Especially even in the comedic form. Here we go. NB122 just agreed with me about T-Mobile. Okay. So here's his question. How do you deal with the fear of acting in front of the camera?
So at first, when I first started, I was terrified. I felt awkward. I thought I would look stupid, and like any amateur would think, like we're like, oh, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to do that. Like, are you crazy? But then the more you get into it, the more you realize that acting is no longer a show. It's you. Regardless of the character, you become that character. And you start feeling like that character. You put the feelings, the emotions, and that's how it becomes great because you're believing you, they're believing you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? If
Yeah.
you can't do that, then you're not selling your role. And
Right.
I'm going to say, when I first started, that was me. I was terrified and I was like, damn, I could have done that better. Like, let's not post that. But they posted it anyways. And
Well,
but
at least,
I had to learn to let go.
yeah, yeah. That's what I've been saying to myself for years. Let go and leave it all above, to the above. Um, so we we touched a little bit on suggesting a podcast. We've already touched about you being a superheroine. We've already, I mean, believe me, she's enjoying this, folks. She is really enjoying this. I mean, how often do anybody ever tell you that you're actually in reality? You mentioned you have a child, correct?
I have to.
You have two. Okay, you're their Wonder Woman. Okay, I always will say that. Always remind yourself that you're Wonder Woman to these children. They look up to you, and you know they you know you know they guide to you in reference to that. Um, and I mean, I know that you wouldn't want them to go through, the struggles that you went through and all that. You always want to do one better for them. So I wouldn't ask, but do you see your children wanting to do the same thing that mommy does?
So, my oldest son, he's 15. I've actually had him on one of the episodes with me. Um,
Okay.
he's already experienced it. My little one experienced it as well, and he's actually a sign model actor with Evolve Agency out in LA. So he did follow my footsteps. My older one is more like trying to get a feel, and now he's doing baseball. So he needs to figure
Okay.
out his life. He's a teenager.
Yeah, of course. But do beware when they become to that age where they're going to try to revolt for a little, try to have that little revolution where they want to be there, really be that tough guy and try to be a rebel. Be ready for that. But at the same time, you got to be there for them. I don't have kids, so I can't say. I mean, I have nephews and nieces, um, you know, and great nephews and nieces, and some of them are, I mean, they're just kids.
Kids are hard.
But but I will, I will always say though, even moms are the true Wonder Woman when it comes to family. So I'm sorry, Stephanie. I can't get you around that one. I can't get you out of the Wonder Woman anymore on that. On that okay, only because of your kids. That's the main point of. Even though, like, NB 122 and I agree about you acting as a superheroine, um, which, like I said, um, I could see. I can see that. Even in ponytail, or when it's all down, and all that. And you said you have so many projects going on and so on. Um, but if someone tosses you a superheroine movie,
Jump on
I
it.
jump on it. I'm serious because no. I mean, look at what happened with Robert Downey Jr. You know, most people would have considered him a has been. Okay, when he became Iron Man, all hell broke loose on him. Okay, Mark Ruffalo being the Hulk. Um, the jury's still out on Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, but like I said, Gal Gadot being Wonder Woman, she didn't do a bad job. I mean, she's not the original Linda Carter, who was actually in. If you ever get a chance to see Wonder Woman 1984, at the end, she is actually in the scene where you don't see her face till the end, but she's walking down this crowded alley, not alley, kind of like a store, like um, outdoor market, and like a telephone pole comes down, and she catches it with one arm, with one hand, and to protect a woman and her child. And as she was going up to thank her, she turns around, and you wouldn't have believed it was Linda Carter actually doing it. And then so she did a cameo in Wonder Woman 1984, but nobody could be her like she did in the original series. So, um, and yes, you can tell, folks, I am a Wonder Woman fan, so it's
Yeah.
hard for me to get off of that. Um, but like I said, just seeing Steffi as she is, um, you could see it. Like I said, I'm not just saying it because, you know, I want to say it. I see it. I could. There's cosplayers and there's people that do cosplay and they put wigs on. You're more all natural in reference to that. I'm apologizing at the same time that I'm saying this stuff because every time I continue to say it, it's like I want to put my foot in my mouth. Okay, but I mean, what's not to enjoy about Stephanie? I mean, she's
You froze. The internet broke.
we're going to be getting ready to close out in a moment. There we go. I apologize, Stephanie. Uh, NB 122. We're gonna have to. We might have to. We might have to form a line about Love and Stephanie here. Okay. Please understand. This is what's coming across. Okay. So, I mean, at least I'm apologizing on my behalf because I shouldn't be really acting like this. But some how can I say it? You get mesmerized. As you get mesmerized, it gets encompassed, and yeah, and I mean, how Stephanie, how often do you ever hear this? You know, at least we get you laughing about it. I mean, it's supposed to be about you, and again, I'm apologizing for that too. But I mean, look at you. I mean, you're an amazing person. Look at everything you explained to me during this time that we've talked. You know, I mean, I wouldn't have followed you on Instagram or on Threads or on any social media if I didn't feel that way. Okay, I never tell anybody they're ugly. And yes, I admit that. I never tell anybody they're ugly. Never. Even 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 my ex-wife, okay? No, now if she was here right now, she would tell you she's fat and ugly. I would still tell her she's beautiful. She didn't want to hear that. She don't want to hear that. I now turn around and start to say I'm fat and ugly. But of course, not many people want to hear that out of me. But that's also because, you know, like you said, the introvert, you know, that's been bottled up in me for years, and it really sticks in. The same thing about almost giving up this podcast because you know I didn't feel like I was really doing anything, and then, like I said, people started to tell me. But everything that you've done so far in your life, and you have two children that are really going to expand and possibly be the next Stephanie Santana, in their own way, and really come out and like, yeah, like you said, your younger one's already a model already. I mean, I can pick, I, I can't say I can picture it, okay, but I would be amazed if he came home to you and said, "Mom, guess who's on the cover of GQ?" You know, or your son, your oldest, your teenager comes up to you and says, "Yeah, I actually got casted for Stranger Things on Netflix." You know, stuff like that. So, I mean, you know, you're that Wonder Woman for them, and you know, I applaud you for that. And you know, I thank you for dealing with me today, even on this. You know, um, like you know, like I'm always saying, if you don't get told who you really are, no one's going to tell you. Okay, I mean, even if you, like you know, in reference to the anxiety and depression that I have, I will never tell myself that I'm the greatest. I will never tell myself I'm happy. You know, I can tell you and be fine, but me telling me that, no, no, never, because I would be arguing with myself for hours about.
That's me. I argue with myself all the time.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel that.
yeah, and I go to a therapist too, so you're not the only one. So we got something in common here already. You know, and I'm glad you're enjoying the humor of it, because that's at least, you know, I try to make, you know, the guests comfortable, and you know, make it worthwhile. You know, like I mentioned in the beginning, I had I have people that turn around and tell me, "Oh, yeah, your guests are not the greatest looking," and they're always women. I try for men, and they never get back either. Okay, but at the same time, you know, yeah, is Stephanie a dream woman to me? I could say yeah, I could, but I don't need to. I don't need to say that, because she hears that from about 5,000 other guys on social media every single day. She's even hearing it, you know, here, right, even here from MB 122, you know. So I'm not the only one that needs to say it. But and as we're closing this out, how often do you ever hear people tell you this?
A lot.
A lot.
I hear it all the time. Even in professional settings, like if I was at a doctor's appointment,
Uh,
I would hear it from a nurse, a doctor, from like so many random people. And I'm like, okay, guys, you guys don't see what I see.
mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I don't
That's
see
right.
myself up here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm more of that awkward, funny
Yeah.
kind of person. I'm the kind, if you're staring at me, I'm probably going to walk funny. Like, that's me. Because
Okay, only if you were here in Philadelphia for me to see that. Okay, then I, but but at least you know, and you know, they say, you know, they would, you know, therapists would say, you know, if these people are telling you how good you are, you should really listen to them. But like I say too, you listen to them, and then you find out, why are you listening to them? You're supposed to be your own person.
exactly.
Yeah. And then you have those that, and this is my pet peeve. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. I have so-called friends that start to tell you, you need to do this, and this. Yep. Okay. We got a lot in common. We got a lot to talk about here. we really got to get to know each other on a personal level for this.
Yeah. Which isn't cool. Like, I
No,
don't like being told what to do.
no. And it feels like you don't get the space either, don't you? You know, they don't give you that space to say, "Hey, let me live my life."
Exactly.
You know? So, as we're going into closing, And Stephanie, thank you again for really dealing with me today. And I apologize at the same time for going off the tangent half the time,
No,
and
you're
and
fine.
and 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 really express
Oops. There goes T-Mobile.
is really going to get my nerves next. Okay, so as we're going into closing, and Stephanie will be getting a copy of all this to put on her social media so she can show off how wonderful of a person she really is and how much she had to deal with somebody who's like really mesmerized right now, and actually two people that are mesmerized. um, what advice do you have for those that want to get into being a model or an actress or a singer even?
My advice to you is to be you. Everyone out there that's trying to be in the industry is always trying to be someone else. They want to be the next Mariah Carey, or they want to be the next, I don't know who's big right now, Jenna Ortega. Like they want to be like them, but the industry already has them. So why are you trying to be them? Be you. Like there's no one like you.
That's
And
right.
that's what got me everywhere. The fact that I've been authentic, true to myself. I'm not trying to change to please my viewers. I'm going to continue being me. I'm going to be that weird, awkward person, regardless of how attractive you think I am, because in my mind, that's not me.
Yeah,
So,
and I would say that about me. I actually, to be honest, as we are closing, um, someone actually did tell me right out that I was creepy looking.
what?
Yeah, literally. I was walking, and this was in Atlantic City, a couple of years ago, and I was because I take the buses to go down to Atlantic City, and the bus didn't come out until the next morning, so I had the whole night to kill. And I because I play the slot machines when I go. So yes, I people will say I'm addicted to slot machines. I try to go once a month. Okay. Um, but to make a long story short, this lady said, "You are like creepy looking." I was like, "Thanks. I feel a whole lot better and it just sunk in and reminding me that. So, Steffi, I thank you so much again for dealing with me and coming on this podcast and sharing your story and promote. Where else can we find you besides Instagram and Threads?
Oh, I'm everywhere. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Spotify, Linktree. I'm literally everywhere. So,
Okay, and like I said, whenever anything that you want to promote, please don't be afraid to come on after all this because I would be happy. No, and I'm being honest at this point. I really do thank you for coming on here. I really do thank Signature Models and Talent for letting you come on this podcast. Um, and hopefully, more of your fellow talent can come on here and really share their stories like you have with us. And again, I thank you for serving our country in the Air Force. And you're thank you for being a Wonder Woman.
thank you.
You're truly well. Like I said, I'm saying it not just because of I've been even though I've been saying it the whole podcast, but but everything that we talked about really puts you as a Wonder Woman. If you really think about and even as negative as we are inside of us ourselves, always remind yourself too that hey, I'm a Wonder Woman. I've got, two great kids that, really are blossoming, and, I've got to be there for them. And I got to be that Wonder Woman. I got to be that strength. Just like I'd like to be that strength for you whenever you got anything going, because I want to be there to, help lift you. I mean, I could sing for all I care. But I'd rather lift you up, and like about 5,000 other guys will say this right now. We'll put you on a pedestal and just glare, stare right at you, and watch you glow. Okay,
Ridiculous.
I I no, that's what I really like to do. I'd like to see people glow, and everything that you're doing right now, I've seen it. I see it. I didn't even have to touch it, and you were already glowing. Okay, as we were talking about. So I definitely want to be there for you whenever you need it. So NB 122 will probably tell you the same thing. But you can always reach out to me when you need someone to, promote, or even on a personal level. So I thank Stephanie for coming on, and as I've been apologizing most of this podcast at the same time for my tangents and going off about it. But she's a great person, and I really do hope that we can bond outside of this, because and I know, like I said, for everything else I was saying, 5,000 other guys would want you on a different level. But there's more to Stephanie that you will ever see. And you learned some of that today. And hopefully, like I said, um, I on a on a personal level, that's up to you. Um, and usually, at like I said, as I've been apologizing, I've been, and I'm going to be honest, I've been afraid that she's been uncomfortable half the time. I really have.
Me?
Yeah, well, only because even though you were laughing, but in the back of your mind, like, he's a creep.
I'm not thinking
No,
that.
but no, I'm not saying that you are, but I'm not saying that you. But sometimes I get those feelings. Like how you have the negativity inside of you. I always have it, and I always I feel it one way or another. So, like I said, Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on. You always have this platform to promote everything you want. You definitely have to check out her Instagram with her. You got we forgot to mention your friend that you did that hairy chest.
Oh, Kaylee?
Yeah, yeah. Give her a plug. Come on, she's worth it.
Yeah, me and Kaylee Amante.
Okay.
She's an actor as well.
Okay. And I told you, she's welcome to come on as well if she ever wants to promote. So tell her, don't be afraid. I tried to treat you the best I could, but definitely, like I said, Stephanie, thank you for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for dealing with me in reference to how off the wall I'm going. But I mean, how can you not want to enjoy getting to know this person? I mean, yeah, we're both going through therapists. We both could do a podcast just on that alone, which wouldn't be a bad idea. But
Uh-oh.
But Stephanie, if you can hear me, thank you for coming. There we go. Thank you for coming on. In all seriousness, hopefully, like I said, we could do this again. And don't be afraid to reach out because
Okay.
you're never you're from this point on, you're never alone in reference to the story.
Got it.
At least you know somebody else is that same person like you. That you can always say, hey, this, and this, Like I said, I have no problem sharing. Thank you, everybody, for watching on YouTube. Even though we went a little past on the YouTube and almost got with the issues with the audio, you guys all take care. Speak to you soon.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.